Welcome to the Real Estate Association weekly meeting sponsored by the Center of Real Estate at California State University, Fullerton.
Brenton Hudak from Pacific West Realtors Association. So he is so without further ado, I will introduce Brenton.
But to get started, I'll tell you a little bit about me first. So yeah, my name is Brenton Hudak. I'm the Industry Relations Manager at PWR, Pacific West Association of Realtors. I've got a BS in Business Admin with a concentration on marketing from the University of Oregon. A little background about me. When I joined the association, it was in 2018 as the broker relations representative. I got super fortunate at the association that I kind of got to form that role into what I wanted to do. So it initially started as a role to have direct contact with our biggest brokers and then be that point of contact for them. Through that, I ended up taking on our social media. I kind of managed that piece of the association, updated it all, did paid as well as organic social media marketing for that. I'm on the digital marketing team, so I help run our any sort of online campaigns that we're managing. I did later take on some committees, some new committees within the association for our realtor members, two of which I'll speak about later. One is the Charity Foundation, the other is our Young Professionals Network, or YPN. That was the one I started with. And then I do a lot of broker and affiliate relations now in my current role as the Industry Relations Manager. I did take a little bit of a break between my broker relations and my industry relations, and I actually got an opportunity in title insurance as an account executive, a title rep. Turned out it wasn't for me, so I ended up going back to the association, which I was really fortunate that that position opened back up for me, and they were able to tweak it to be a little bit more with my new experiences. And then on the side, my family actually took over a vineyard and winery up in Oregon in 2020, so I've helped for them with their web design, e-commerce management, stuff like that. So kind of all over the place, a lot of digital stuff, and then mostly my main role is in the association. So I'm super passionate about this niche within the industry. I grew up, my dad was a broker and a property manager, and I never thought I would ever be in real estate because the only side I saw of it was sales. So this is we're a nonprofit on the association side. There's no sales, we just support our realtor members. So I'll touch more on the association itself, but let me jump in and see if I can get Amy in here.
There you go. Hi guys.
All right, you were good. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So hi everyone, my name is Amy Zuniga and I'm the Director of Broker Resources at California Regional MLS. So California Regional MLS, if you guys haven't heard of us, is the most subscribed to multiple listing service in the US. So multiple listing services, does anyone know what they are? Show of hands. Okay, so, sorry, go ahead, Brett.
We've got one.
Okay, perfect. So I'll make it interactive. Tell us what an MLS is.
Multiple listing service where they pretty much show what's for sale, what's available, and wherever it's designated for in California.
Exactly. So it is pretty much where all the inventory is stored. And so you usually find properties online through maybe your preferred website, but they all feed through CRMLS. Oh, sorry, my screen just went crazy. All right, so the big mission statement that CRMLS has is we want to make sure that you are being provided accurate data through the solutions that we have that push out to the internet. And that is whether you're a consumer that's already working with a real estate professional or if you are the real estate professional. Our core values are we're focused on transparency. We are broker first. We are user oriented. And we have a proactive vision. So depending on what you guys have covered in class, there's been a lot of news about the real estate industry, and we have always really wanted to stay front of all of that and make sure that we are consistently giving our users the transparency of what's happening in the industry, but also thinking of ways of how we can make sure that we're providing the best outcome for whatever situation might come up. And that's really important because, especially when it comes to the legal side, yes, it's important to stay out of lawsuits, but it's also way more important to do the right thing and give full transparency to the users, to the consumers when we're talking about these lawsuits. Now, our listing service is actually property centric. So with this data, it allows for you to find information for individual properties. So this is historical information, current information, and then also able to assess the potential value for a future trend. Now, CRMLS does offer multiple platforms, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But for you guys today, I wanted to cover a little bit about what it looks like once you guys get your license, right? So once you get your license, you usually join a brokerage, and then depending on where that broker is a member of, which Brenton's going to talk to you about today, you'll join a local association. And so this also varies if you have your broker license or if you are actually an agent under a broker. So one of the big things I always recommend is to always talk to the association about your licensing, also talk to your broker if you are the agent about what they expect from your licensing, because a lot of the associations offer different costs, but really what you want to look at is the benefits. Is the association giving you, right, education-wise and other services? Now, PWR is one of our partnered associations that we're very close to, and when you join PWR, you're able to access and search properties, plus have all the additional products that are available to you. And so those products are, we have 3 systems that are offered currently. We'll in the future have 4, so depending on once you join, you'll see that come into fruition. But Matrix is our largest platform, which Brenton, I believe you guys are Matrix users, correct?
Correct.
So then that is about 78,000 of our users, and then we have 2 other platforms, Paragon and Flex. So it just depends which one you prefer. And then solutions that come in to that platform are our syndication, which pushes out to over 3,000 different websites, rentals. So if you are interested in focusing on leases, then we do have Rents For You that's focused on that. We also have our tax information platform, our MLS search platform. We have multiple apps because we know that no app works one way. They work very differently depending on what type of phone you have and also what type of user you are. We have networking, which is a referral network. So if you need to find another agent in another area, you can do so. We have financial pieces, down payment resources one, which allows you to see all of the properties and all of the resources that allow assistance for down payment and if your client qualifies. We also have scheduling platform, Showing Time is one of them. And then we have multi-purpose platforms that depending on which membership you join, you might have access to. So a good example is Realtor Property Resource. If you decide to join and become a realtor in addition to your MLS access, you'll also be able to gain access to the Realtor platform. And then we have tons of marketing pieces. We have our agents are really big fans of our InfoSparks platform, which pulls a lot of data and really makes you look like a data rock star to your clients. In addition to that, CRMLS also knows that there's the MLS experience of other state-of-the-art technologies that you might want to access. Those we actually negotiate a reduced price for all of our users. So if there's something that anyone's interested in, you can get that at a reduced price through our website versus going directly to that company and then getting their regular pricing. I'm going to pause here and ask if you guys have any questions.
No.
I know that there's so many other like apps and all these applications, but like for a new up and coming realtor, like the brokerage you affiliate with or sign under, like you're just at the whim of whatever they subscribe to, correct? Like unless you wanted to pay out of your own pocket some of these other resources, correct?
So for the marketplace, sometimes the broker may already have a relationship with them and offer it, so it just depends on which brokerage you go to. But for example, these innovative solutions, these are all available within your membership, so these are not at an additional cost.
Thank you.
All right, and so we do have a very large reach. As I mentioned, we are the largest MLS in the US, but we also want to make sure that we give you guys access to additional data. So within the state of California, we have 17 data shares. We have access to a reciprocal MLSs, so that allows you to visit and view other MLSs in the nation. So there's Beach MLS, which is in Florida. No, that's North Carolina. No, yes. I'm gonna say North Carolina.
Somewhere East Coast.
Yes, I was like, I can't remember. Bright MLS is definitely on the East Coast. It's in DC. First MLS is Atlanta, Honolulu. We have Miami, Northwest MLS, which I totally forgot where they are right now, but I want to say Idaho or Indiana. Omni MLS and Western Arizona, which is our newest. And then we have 6 additional service areas, which is Big Bear, California City, Skin, and Lake Arrowhead and Mount Baldy. So these are areas that actually do have their own MLS, but we, as part of the market share, have 50% of it. So technically, it becomes included in our service area as well. So with that, I am done. I wasn't sure how much time I had, Brenton.
No, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Does anyone have
So-
any other questions for Amy? Otherwise, I'm going to just let her go. She's heard my pitch many times. So yeah.
Why is it that Big Bear and those areas have their own area like that?
That's a great question. So historically, I've been in the business for over 20 years, and we had so many MLSs that I lost count of, and they were very regional. So for example, I live in Inglewood, and we had an MLS that was specific to Inglewood, South Bay, if you're familiar with this area, and Palos Verdes. And then we had a neighboring MLS, which was Los Angeles. So even though we were in Los Angeles County and neighboring, there were still 2 different MLSs. So as time went on, they started merging with each other. So Inglewood, South Bay became part of CRMLS. The Los Angeles ended up staying on their own, but we are still neighboring and we data share. And that kind of happened throughout the state. Now, when you go up to more, to like specific areas like Mount Baldy, Lake Arrowhead, if you guys have ever been in Big Bear, it's a little bit more rural. So they tend to not want to merge with associations or MLSs that are around them because the market area is so different, right? So if they were to join with someone that might be under, right, because Big Bear is on the mountain, so like let's say they join with the next neighboring one, which off the top of my head, I'm just gonna say like it's baseline like under the mountain. The properties are different, so they might not feel that that association or MLS is going to do what's best for them. At CRMLS, we do believe that if you're not merging for your users and your consumers, then that's fine, but at least actively having relationships for data shares is important because that way consumers can always see the data online regardless of which MLS it belongs to.
Well, thank you.
So it's really more of a decision for that particular association or board.
Anyone else? Cool. All right, that's it, Amy. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let Brenton know, and he knows how to get a hold of me.
Yep,
Thank you, guys.
Share your contact. All right, thank you. Okay, so that was a lot of information about the MLS, and let me go ahead and give you a little bit of context about how that fits into the greater picture of organized real estate. So, really quickly, big picture, Amy touched on it briefly, but you've kind of got the state, you've got the associations, and you've got the MLS all working together to create the organized real estate industry. So starting on the state level, she mentioned the DRE, the Department of Real Estate. This is a government body that issues your license. So when you go and you take your real estate license exam, you're working with the DRE. They're also in charge of regulating, issuing, and then they can revoke your license if you have some egregious offense, which I know none of you ever will. They're in charge of enforcement and compliance, all of those things. So that's the state level. Then you got the associations. So this is the Realtor brand. The created the Realtor trademark, the R, the term and word Realtor, actually means that you're a member of the association, the National Association of Realtors, not that you're a licensee. Real estate licensee, real estate agent, real estate whatever, that's the job title. Realtor means that you're a member. They also establish and uphold the code of ethics and professionalism, and then we do a lot of advocacy. I actually, on my way, or when I was planning to come over today, I went ahead and checked out opensecrets.com or .org, which is a website you can go on to see lobbying bodies and how much is spent. And in 2024, the National Association of Realtors was the top spender for lobbying efforts on the national level. So we have a huge voice behind us as realtors protecting private property rights, and I'll touch a little bit more on that later. And then finally, we've got the MLS. So they have their own separate rules and regulations that are not the code of ethics. You can be in violation of the code of ethics and not necessarily in violation of the rules and regulations of CRMLS, and vice versa. However, we work really closely together with them to make sure that through our professional standards department, we are enforcing their rules and regulations. It is a broker cooperative, just meaning that as a member of the MLS, you are agreeing to cooperate openly with other brokers in your area for the betterment of the general consumer. And then she touched on this as well, but their main role is data accuracy. Think of them as kind of the main input point, and then she kind of touched on the dissemination to Realtor.com and all of your other listing portals. So think Zillow, Redfin, all of those, they have IDX feeds with the MLS. So the MLS is the main input feed where all of their rules are centered around creating accurate data so that when it's dispersed out to those platforms and the consumers are looking through it, it's as accurate as it can be. Imagine trying to, if you needed to put up a listing and having to put it into 10 different places and some may not have certain fields and others do, how that data can get kind of scrambled. That's why the MLS does what it does. Big picture, we all work together to preserve and maintain the real estate industry. I'm a visual person, so I like to kind of see them separately, but all working together and all connected. The associations, you've got NAR, CAR, and PWR, we're your national, state, and local association. So really quickly, pop quiz, what's the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent? I saw that hand first.
Real estate agent has a license, and a realtor is just a member of the realtor club.
Essentially. So a realtor is a member of the National Association of Realtors. You are a licensee, you can sell real estate, but you also are holding yourself to a higher standard by becoming a realtor. I'll get something for you after the portable trip. I'll give you lectures to so NAR, National Association of Realtors, again, they created and uphold the code of ethics. They also created and monitor the use of the realtor trademark. They have the realtor parties, so they fight for things like ownership rights. They send out different call for actions. The mortgage interest rate reduction on the national level, that was fought for by the realtor party. And then fair housing policy. You wouldn't have fair housing policy without the realtors. Benefits and services, she touched on RPR a little bit. The realtor domain, if you become a member and you'd like to have your website be your name.realtor, you get that through your membership with NAR. We offer different discounts, Young Professionals Network, which I'll touch on more in the PWR level, membership meetings, all of these different things. So you've got a lot of member benefits that come with that level. Then we've got the state level. We handle political activism at the state level at CAR. At the end of next month, I'll be up in Sacramento for what's called Legislative Day, where we have a full day where we're going to be learning in the morning about all of the initiatives that are currently in the state legislature that affect housing, real estate, rentals, anything like that, that the realtors are either positive for, negatively against, or neutral on. We'll learn a couple of them, and then we'll go through, we actually get to go into the Capitol, meet with our representatives, and then explain to them why we'd like them to vote in favor, neutral, or against, whatever it is. It's a really, really interesting day. If you get the chance in your career to attend, associations will offer scholarships to help you travel to get up there. We'll pay for the trip for you, and you can experience and see really kind of boots on the ground, that firsthand piece of the association that a lot of people don't necessarily see. Advocacy and that side of things is a huge pillar of the association. So it's a cool day to see. We also offer disaster relief, so California as well as the national level both have two different funds. When we just had those wildfires up in Los Angeles County, the Realtors really came together. We have, from the national level, the Realtor Relief Fund. They actually, for an entire month, all funds that went into that were donated by Realtor members and general public were earmarked for relief specifically in the Los Angeles County area. Those funds went to general consumers, people who lost their homes, Realtor people, Realtor members, anybody who needed that help could apply through NAR for, I believe it was up to $1,500, maybe $1,000. It's just a grant to help you get back on your feet. The state level also has their own relief fund. They dispersed over $1 million. Rather, the national level has dispersed $1 million. The local level focused more on our Realtor members. So if you were a staff member or a Realtor member that was affected by those wildfires, you could apply directly to the state and get funds that way. A couple of other benefits and services, different scholarships, like I said, the support for the local associations and legislative day all come from CAR. And then finally, PWR. So we're your local association. We are based out of Anaheim. We've got an office right by Angel Stadium. We also have a secondary office up in Long Beach by Long Beach Airport. Our coverage area is North Orange County, so all the way out here, Fullerton, Whittier, in all the way to Tustin, and then up to Long Beach, and that's kind of our coverage area. So we're handling things happening on the city level in all of those areas with our two government affairs directors. We offer different sign ordinance information, things like that to keep you, if you're working in that area, up to speed and up to the professionalism standard that you were expected to when you're working as a realtor. We also offer educational classes, a variety of topics, anything from, we've had CPAs come and talk, we've had attorneys that talk about trusts, we have business coaches, we've even had yoga instructors come in because we all know 2020 and all of the things that happened after. People could use a little extra mental health bump, so we did some yoga for them. We also offer PWR reports, so if you're a member of the association, you can pull specific sales reports that refresh monthly for designated cities, all of our city coverage areas. We've got different committees if you want to get more involved with the association. YPN is a big one that's near and dear to me. That's our Young Professionals Network. I was voluntold to be the staff person for that group in 2018, and I'm so happy I did. That was started at the national level with the idea of getting a lot of people who become real estate agents or become realtors, we were finding were later in life, it's maybe their second, third, fourth career choice. So you had kind of an aging population, and then come to find out there were also a lot of realtors that were new, that this was their first, similar to you guys, that have all studied real estate, you're interested, and you'd like to get into the industry. How do we give you a voice? And so that's what YPN was meant to be, was it was a seat at the table for that younger group to make changes on the national level. It filtered its way down to the state, and now we have our local level. We actually are hosting a happy hour up in Long Beach tonight that I'll be heading to after this. But we do fun stuff like that that are just networking events, education, trying to get you a space where you are new to the industry and you have those burning questions that maybe you're embarrassed or you don't have a mentor or whatever it may be. YPN is the place where you can come and learn from other agents. There is no age limit. That's one thing that always gets asked, but there's no age limit on the YPN. And in my personal opinion, I think there shouldn't be, because we need the realtors that have been members for 20, 30, 40 years that have those experiences, that have the stories to tell, so that when the newbies come in, they can ask those questions and there's actual information there, not just people, I don't know. So it's a fun group. The Charity Foundation is a little bit more, that's my other committee I manage, it's a little bit more give back volunteer based. So we shifted our focus a couple years ago to be partnerships with other nonprofits in the area to offer volunteer opportunities for our members. I mentioned the local political advocacy, and then we also have a call center with full member support. Anything dealing with your lockboxes, your MLS, professional standards, anything like that, you can call in, you can get a hold of our call center and they'll walk you through or point you in the direction that you need to talk to for your problem. So again, associations, we create that level playing field for all realtors. We fight for your private property rights, we enforce ethical behaviors, and then we promote professionalism in the industry. And again, very visual person, National Association kind of filters all the way down to us, we're your main point of contact. And you can get access to all three through the one association. I already touched on the MLS, Amy did a great job, that's your MLS. So I did quickly want to touch on really quickly just some job titles in the association world. So as I mentioned in my intro, I never thought I'd be in real estate. This was not a place that I thought I wanted to be, if I didn't find the association, I don't think I would be in real estate. But it's such a great industry to be in, it touches everybody. Someone at any point in their life will always have some sort of interaction with real estate, whether it's a rental or a purchase or whatever that may be. And then being on the realtor side, where we're actively fighting for a more professional industry, upholding the code of ethics and promoting that standard within practitioners, I find a lot of value in. So a couple different job titles that you may want to keep an eye out for. You can be an accounting clerk. We've got a team of 3 accountants on our staff. Industry relations manager, coordinator, representative, all of the above. Those are me. Those are things like I deal with our brokers, I deal with our members. I also deal with our affiliate members. So we have a separate affiliate membership that you can join the association, come to our events, network with our members, and it can be anyone that's real estate adjacent. So we have marketing companies, we have escrow companies, title companies, all of the groups, which really at the end of the day is kind of everyone. If you're flowers, if you're wine, whatever, you kind of be involved with real estate. So we offer that membership as well, and I work with all of those very closely. Pro standards, if you're on the code of ethics train and you like that side of things, compliance, that's a great area for you. Event and education, or if you want to train, we always need trainers for those specific topics that we're teaching our agents. Creative director, government affairs director, if you're a political person, and then association executive or CEO, that's the person that runs it all. One more resource for you if you're interested in maybe not the Realtor Association world, but the association world in general. When you're on this side of things, you really come to understand there's an association for literally everything. So this group, the ASAE, is the American Society of Association Executives, so it's a group for all of those people who run associations. They offer a different certified association executive credential. From the realtor side of things, there's one designation you can get from NAR, that's the RCE. It's the certified or the real estate executive certification. And that's kind of like, think of it as your master's degree of association management. And then your CAE, the credential from the ASAE, is your PhD, if that makes sense. It's a lot of work, both of them are a lot of work, but they're really good options for you to kind of push your boundaries and learn a little bit more if the association world is something you're interested in. That's all I have. It was pretty quick. Anybody have any questions?
Is there a membership fee that PWR entails?
Yeah, so when you join, as Amy mentioned, when you become a licensee, you hang your license with a broker, unless you're a broker, but you hang your license typically with a broker. That broker belongs to an association, they'll direct you into that association. We at the local level, we have what's called a 3-way agreement, and so that's essentially when you join us, you're paying your membership for state, local, and national, all through the one membership. We're unique in that we offer different payment plans. Some other associations you have to pay it all up front. We offer single payment, quarterly, as well as monthly payments to help kind of spread that out for you. But yeah, there is a fee associated. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but if you have those questions, you can always talk to your broker or call in and ask directly. But then that also gets you access to the MLS. Yeah. Any other questions?
For our students that are interested in YPN, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so YPN is a great kind of jumping off point when you get into the association world and you're becoming licensed, you're new. Greg and I are actually working together to create a student membership in partnership with Cal State Fullerton to hopefully allow you guys access on either a term basis or a quarterly basis, whatever it may end up looking like. We're still working on the bugs of it. But to get you access to our events and our YPN. So you'd be able to come to our education classes, our general membership meetings, where we host over like 300 realtors at a big hotel conference thing. You would get access to our newsletter, all of those things, and then you'd be able to come and kind of interact with us that way to dip your toes into the water a little bit, hopefully make some connections, and then that way when you do become licensed, or that's something, a path maybe you want to take, you're not just going along. So stay tuned on that, but you've got a good resource for that, so I'm sure Greg will let you know as soon as that goes live.
And hopefully we will work out so that we can give you access as students, if you're taking a real estate class, to the MLS, so we can give you assignments like how to look at the value of a house, how to prepare a listing presentation, those types of things that are more practical than what you typically learn just to pass your test.
Yeah, so Amy mentioned the 3 different front-end matrix, Paragon, there's a Flex. So those are the front-end systems of the MLS, so that's what you would get exposure to through the MLS membership with the student membership. So you can kind of already work that platform, and then obviously have accurate data for your presentation, for your projects as well.
So, is the happy hour open?
Hey, if you guys get out of here early enough, you're welcome to join. Yeah, typically, I mean, those groups, those events are open to everyone. They're typically sponsored, but they're mainly for members, but we even have crossover from other associations that will come in. So yeah, if you do become a student member, you'll get access to all of those. It'll be really fun. Yeah, anybody else?
Do you mostly spend your time at the Anaheim office, or do you bounce around?
So our main office is Anaheim. We actually work hybrid. We're lucky that our association allows us to, so it just depends on the week. I'll head up to Long Beach. I'll do it. I'm pretty much where I need to be, but we've got mostly people stationed out of Anaheim. If they're coming to the office, they're typically going to Anaheim.
Where did you mention that Long Beach, that office is at?
It's right off of Spring Street by the Long Beach Airport.
By the golf course?
Yeah, right across the street from the golf course. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Brandon. We appreciate your